Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, we finally made it through the season. It is Super Wildcard weekend. As you enter into the room, make sure to hit the like button. I really would appreciate that. Yeah, I took last week off. Was really under the weather, but I'm feeling a lot better now. Feeling a lot better. But I'm just so grateful we made it through another NFL season. And you know what? I did pretty good this season. In fact, my season record, I'm going to bring that up to you in a few. Tell you what, if many of your favorite NFL coaches had this record, they would still have a job. Hey, Cheryl Burnett, how you doing this afternoon? Are you getting ready for the games? I know it's hard being a Steeler fan. It is very hard to have no rooting interest. But then again, you can make a case it's better than last year when we got shellacked by the Kansas City Chiefs. That was awful. But here was my record for the season: 99-68. Oh, he's sad about Derek Carr? Yeah, since he's leaving the Raiders. Well, I tell you what, Derek Carr, you know what? He had a weird career over there. You know, a lot of things weren't his fault, but then there were certain things that he could have done better, I think. But I tell you what, if I'm the New York Jets, I would take a look at Derek Carr because right now their quarterback room is a mess. I don't see him. I don't. In fact, if I'm the Steelers, I wouldn't want him. I like the way that Kenny Pickett has ended the season. The only thing that scares me, he already had a couple of concussions. He does scare me a little bit, but I believe that our future is a little bright. It's real bright, actually. I mean, this was a rebuilding season, 9-8, and I'm very thrilled with the way we ended the season. I tell you what, Deshaun Watson was a huge, huge disappointment. Oh, he's happy that he's leaving? Well, the problem is, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Gerald Stidham is not the answer for the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know who they're going to draft. I guess they'll go after C.J. Stroud. I don't know if he'll be there. In fact, well, the Bears have the number one pick. You know what? The Raiders could. I don't know if they have a package that's good enough if they want to pry that number one pick from them. But you know what? The offseason is going to be very, very interesting for a lot of teams. And I tell you what, as a Steeler fan, we sure stole one. We're going to have, in essence, two number one draft picks because the first pick in the second round is as good as the draft pick, first round draft pick. It really is. And that's the haul we got from trading Chase Claypool, who did absolutely nothing for not only us, but for the Chicago Bears. He did nothing, man. And I'm just very glad as a Steeler fan that he's gone. And I warned y'all about Chase Claypool a while back. But anyway, I'm actually going to start my NFL picks. Again, you saw my regular season record. I normally do so much better in the playoffs. You're trying to see what the NBA is doing. I'm a Laker fan, so I'm like struggling, man. But that's another story. Lakers are the biggest joke in the NBA when you look at the fact that LeBron, AD's always hurt. I don't know when he's coming back. I might start doing some NBA picks. I might start doing that, but in the meantime, I'm going to finish up the playoffs here in Wildcard weekend. And I'm going to start off with the Seattle Seahawks traveling to San Francisco, well, really Santa Clara, to take on the San Francisco 49ers at what used to be Levi Stadium. I don't know what they're calling it now. Geno Smith, I can't believe that he led the NFL in completion percentage. And he will be going to the Pro Bowl. He will be a free agent after this season. There's going to be a few suitors for him, even though I believe that he's probably more of a one-hit wonder. Now, it was good to see that he did a wonderful job with this team. Oh, you're watching Miami and the Bucks right now? Man, it takes me a while to get into the NBA now. It's like a video game now. Everybody's can score, everybody's scoring 40 points now. Everybody's shooting threes. I don't know. I'm just sort of, and I like the NBA. I like basketball, but I'm just not into it as much as I was. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't see Seattle winning this game. I do like the running back. He should be back on Walker for Seattle. San Francisco, they're running on all cylinders, even with the rookie quarterback, Brock Purdy. Christian McCaffrey has been a godsend for this team. They were very lucky that the injury bug did not hit him. Joey Bosa has been outstanding. He's probably been the best lineman in the NFL this season. And the back end has been great too. Listen, the 49ers, John Morant, you know what? I am a John Morant fan. And I told people that he was going to be the best player, not Zion. He was the best player in the draft. In fact, me and Jerry West were the only people who actually said that. I'm a huge John Morant fan. He actually reminds me more of Derrick Rose than Allen Iverson, but the fact that he's fearless, I get what you're saying. And I am a huge John Morant fan. He's probably the player that I like to most watch in the league right now. He's my favorite player in the league right now, John Morant. So I'm with you on that. Listen, if the 49ers lose this football game, heads should roll. I don't care if it's Brock Purdy. I don't care if they got to dig up John Brody. 49ers should win this game 27-17 over the Seattle Seahawks. I just don't see how the Seahawks can win this game unless you're going to tell me that DJ Metcalf is going to go crazy. Now, the sad part is Lockett is hurt. I don't know if Lockett will be able to play. I don't believe so, but I did not check the injury report, and shame on me for that. But I don't care if he was playing. I don't see the 49ers losing this football game. 49ers 27-17 over the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, and later on this evening, the LA Chargers travel to Jacksonville, even though Jacksonville has a worse record. They are the division champs, so you know how that goes. The Jaguars will be the home team, and they will be at home in Duval against the Chargers. It's not exactly warm down in Florida. And Jacksonville's weather is a little funny. Weather's been funny everywhere this season, no matter where you are in the country. I mean, look what's going on in California right now. You know, I'm not shocked that the Chargers made the playoffs. I am shocked that they weren't more of a factor in the division. This coach, listen, the Chargers coach should be fired. Playing Mike Williams, and Williams has some fractures in his back. was an absolute joke. You cannot do that. I mean, I know that listen, he's injury prone as it is. Then you're going to have him playing a meaningless game when you've already been locked in. It was just stupid. This coach should be fired. This will be Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence's first playoff games. Interesting to see how that works out. Now, the 49ers, the 49ers. The Chargers defense is a little up and down. In fact, you can run on this team. In fact, both defenses, the Jaguars defense has actually played better than the Chargers defense over the last month. And the Chargers have the bigger names. Now, Nick Bosa should be back for them. Khalil Mack definitely underachieved as far as I'm concerned this season. And so has Derwin James. I'm telling you, this is set up. And I know that the Chargers are the favorites here. I like the way the Jaguars finished the season better. I like the way that Trevor Lawrence is playing better. And I like the coaching. Doug Peterson, to me, is a more proven and better coach than this Chargers head coach Stanley. He's a joke. I believe Jacksonville has waited so long for this. Now, the Chargers have too. But I just think the Jags are they're coming with more momentum, and I just don't trust the Chargers at all. I like the Jaguars upset special, 27-24. Now, next up will be the Sunday games. There will be 3 of them. And the first one will be Buffalo taking on Miami at home. It's going to be nice and cold. Skylar Thompson will be starting yet another game for Miami. There's an outside chance of Teddy Bridgewater, but remember, he has the broken pinky finger on his throwing arm. His throwing hand, excuse me. Listen, this is the game where there are 2 games where I feel that teams have absolutely no shot of winning. Now, Seattle actually, even though I don't believe they will win the game, they have an outside shot of winning because of the familiarity. I mean, you know that they're not going to be intimidated when it comes to San Francisco. But this team, Miami, has no shot of winning with a third-string quarterback, especially one that's really been dreadful as Thompson has been. Now, could they run the ball and get hot? You know what? If they were playing in Miami, I would give them a 35% chance. Buffalo is going to be cold, probably snow. Buffalo is on a roll, and we already know what Mr. Hamlin coming home. That's going to be another jolt for the Bills Mafia. Miami has no shot of winning. This will be an ugly game quickly. Buffalo 31, Miami 13. That, I believe, will be the end of that game. Next up is a much tougher game to gauge. That's because the New York Football Giants barely lost the game not that long ago to the Vikings. It took a 61-yard field goal for them to lose the last time they were there. And this time, much higher stakes. They're more familiar with the Vikings. The Vikings are a little more beat up. Giants were very smart in resting their players. And I tell you what, they fared very well. Even though they lost to Philadelphia, they played very well. This Giant team, now listen, I don't trust Daniel Jones as far as I can throw him. But the problem is, I do trust Saquon Barkley right now much more. Dalvin Cook is hurt. They always struggle when they can't run the football. And Cook had a decent year, not a great year. Now, Justin Jefferson could wreck the game. I understand that. But the Giants secondary has played better, and they did a very good job against Jefferson. Dayball has done a wonderful job in coaching this Giant team. And listen, I'm not saying this just because I'm from New York, but it's been a night and day revelation to see what Brian Dayball did compared to the last couple of coaches. And I tell you what, Kirk Cousins will be playing. We know Kirk Cousins in the playoffs, not very good, ladies and gentlemen. This will be one of my upset specials. I love the Giants here, 27-24 over the Minnesota Vikings. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens will be taking on the Bengals. Believe me, you will not see Lamar Jackson in a Ravens uniform again. And it's all their fault. I do not feel bad for this franchise. They had 3 seasons to take care of this young man. They refused to. They treated him like crap. They refused to pay him. And he will walk out the door, and the Ravens will be hamstrung for the next couple of seasons. Because this young man, is he a decent backup? Yes. But that's all he is, a backup. He is not a great quarterback. And if they can't run the ball, they can't do anything. They're not great at the receiving core. They're the only decent receiver they have is their tight end, and he's very good, but he's not great. The Bengals are coming in on all cylinders. Now, could the Bengals' offensive line get had? I understand that. But the way Joe Burrow and those guys are playing, listen, the Bengals can go back. They can repeat as AFC champs. I'm not saying they will, but there's definitely a good shot of that. And they are definitely, for an AFC champion, they are under the radar. I don't think people are giving the Bengals – listen, everybody thinks the Bengals are going to win this game. But if they have to go to Buffalo and they have to go to Kansas City, listen, they've already beaten Kansas City. I don't think they're scared of Buffalo at all. Listen, the Bengals are a dangerous team. They are not getting enough credit. And this is coming from a Steelers fan. I can't stand the Bengals. But I give credit where credit is due. Everybody knows that. I'm going Cincinnati here. They're going to double up 34-17 over the Baltimore Ravens. The final game in the Monday night game has the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. This has been a game that I've been going back and forth, but I just have this feeling because the Cowboys really stumbled into this one. And I mean stumbled. I mean, the way they played the last couple of weeks and them losing to Washington, that's an absolute joke. They lost to Sam Howell. Jeez. And they had something to play for. Now, on the other hand, I know Tampa Bay has been mediocre at best all season. They show flashes, but they have not been consistent. What happened to Michael Parsons? Michael Parsons started out looking like Lawrence Taylor. At the end of the season, Michael Parsons played like Joy Taylor. The Tampa Bay defense has been good, not great. They're getting healthy in the secondary at the right time. And listen, Dallas only has really CD Lamb. T.Y. Hilton played decent until last week. I think you take away CD Lamb, force Dak to throw it to somebody else, they're in trouble. If Tony Pollard doesn't get at least 80 yards, they're in trouble. Listen, we saw I think the Cowboys were better last year and they lost. to Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady, even at 45 years old, is better than Jimmy G. And he's at home. Now, I don't expect Tampa Bay to do too much after this, but I do believe that Tampa Bay has enough, especially with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I do believe they have enough to beat the Cowboys here. Now, could Parsons wreck the game? He could, but I don't see it. He hasn't done anything in about a month and a half. I like Tampa Bay here, and I can't call it an upset because they're at home and they have Tom Brady. But I like them here. It's going to be a close game, but I like them Tampa Bay 24-23 over the Cowboys. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are my picks. Thank you so much, Cheryl Burnett, and thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Yet again, Uncle Claude signing out. Take care, stay safe, and God bless. And enjoy your NFL weekend. And more importantly, happy Martin Luther King Day on Monday. If you celebrate that, make sure to honor his legacy and don't let it go to waste. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.